JNU vows strict action over anti-government slogans at the campus, says cannot be labs of hate. FIR against students who chanted slogans soon. Mahua Moitra praised Umar Khalid on X, after his bail, calling UAPA charges bitter, twisted lies and linking the probe to hatefulness. BJP workers' big charge on Karnataka police, says she was stripped and assaulted. Karnataka cops deny the charge, claim bid to resist arrest. After a CBI summons in the Karur Stampede case, his latest film, Jananayagan, faces a censor delay. Makers move Madras High Court. DMK to move Supreme Court after Madurai High Court upholds Karthagaya Deepam order. BJP slams anti-Hindu mindset. ICC rejects Bangladesh's request to shift T20 matches from India, says play in India or forfeit points. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says India is concerned over developments in Venezuela, urges all parties to prioritize the safety and the well-being of the people. Trump said Venezuela will send 30 to 50 million barrels of sanctioned oil to the United States, while the White House floated acquiring Greenland, noting the military is always an option. Now, the big breaking that we're getting for you right now, the BJP, which has long raised the slogan of a Congress-free India, has joined hands directly with the Congress in the Amarnath Municipal Council in Thane, choosing a path to power through an unexpected alliance. So these are reports of an unexpected alliance that we are getting right now. For more on this, we have Preeti Sompura live with us. Thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast. Preeti, what can you tell us? Preeti, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right, Preeti, I was just trying to ask you what you can tell us about this unexpected alliance.
This unexpected alliance took place in the Amarnath Municipal Court.
All right, we seem to be having an issue with that line. However, we'll continue to try and get Preeti back online with us. This is the latest that we have for you right now. The BJP, which has long raised the slogan of Congress-free India, has in fact joined hands directly with the Congress in the Amarnath Municipal Council in Thane, choosing a path here clearly to power through an unexpected alliance. So this is a major political development. The BJP, which has opted to form an alliance with the Congress to power through this unexpected alliance in Thane. So this is the latest that we can get for you right now from Maharashtra. Preeti, I hope you can hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you now. So the unexpected alliance took place in the Amarnath Municipal Council, and the BJP and the Congress alliance is combining, will combine to take the election. So now on this, the sources inform us that by this, the move of the BJP local leaders, Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis is not happy with this move, and he clearly said that why we have to do alliance with the Congress party. And so we can know that after this alliance the announcement came on the 1st of January, and after this, the Shiv Sena Eknath Shinde group has also raised the objections about this, because they say that we are in the UT government in Maharashtra, and now BJP is doing alliance with the Congress. So even the Shiv Sena Eknath Shinde group is also not happy with this move by the local leaders of the BJP.
Absolutely, Preeti. Of course, now it appears from what you have told us that this has surprised, of course, the observers, the people, as well as the party cadre. It has also elicited some strong reactions across party lines. For more on this, we have with us Priyanka Chaturvedi as well. Thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast this morning. Good morning to you. What's your assessment of this unlikely alliance?
So the assessment is pretty clear that BJP can tie up with the Congress as well as AIMIM to continue to grab power. And it is pretty obvious now with the kind of new permutations and combinations that you see in the state of Maharashtra. entirely exposes that political parties stand for power more than standing for ideology. So that is pretty apparent, and that is all I see when I read stories such as this. That Congress and BJP can align together to take control over Ambernath Municipal Corporation. BJP can tie up with MIM to take control of a district in Akola. So what does it speak of the Bharatiya Janata Party? That it can make parties, it can break parties, it can do what it feels like just to be in power.
Right. Do you think the people will receive this as perhaps a shift in ideology, or do you think this is just a strategic move and it will be received as such as well?
No, I want to understand, why do we hide these kind of political inconsistencies over strategy? This is not strategy. This is absolutely cheating the will of the people. People come and vote on the basis of what the parties are promising. And if those parties come together, what does it speak for the people of this country? So please do not hide behind the word called strategy. This is not strategy. This is dishonesty.
Right. Now, my only, of course, objective here is to, of course, understand how this is being received by the people also. That's I completely understand what you're saying, though. That being said, of course...
That anyone compromising over their ideas is called a Chanakya. Anyone breaking parties is called Chanakya. And anyone aligning together, two politically opposite parties aligning together, is what is extremely unfortunate. And I think it is time we all started to call out this kind of coming together of rivals, political rivals who have a different story on the India map. But when it comes to local bodies, they don't mind aligning together just to scale power.
All right, we hear you. Thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast with your insights on this as well. Now, Preeti, let me come back to you. Of course, there are very sharp reactions coming to this as well. We are hearing of how some people are, of course, not very happy with this unexpected alliance that we are seeing. Some may call it a betrayal of ideologies of both the camps here from both sides. Now, from what we do know, this is, of course, a rare alliance between the BJP and the Congress, which has emerged in the township of Ambernath after the recent local body elections, which has very clearly surprised political observers and party cadres, and the BJP has joined hands with councillors from the Congress in this township to power through this unexpected alliance. So there we have it. This is the latest that we're getting right now, where the BJP, which has long raised the slogan of a Congress-free India, it has joined hands directly with the Congress in Ambernath Municipal Council in Thane, choosing a path to power through this unexpected alliance. However, there are many strong reactions. Many across political aisle not very happy with this alliance. So this is the latest. BJP, once again, let me, for the benefit of our viewers, spell out what's happening here, which has long raised the slogan of a Congress-free India. It has now joined hands directly with the Congress in the Ambernath Municipal Council in Thane, choosing a path to power through an unexpected alliance. So this is a rare alliance between the BJP and the Congress, which has emerged in the township of Ambernath after the recent local body elections, which has very clearly surprised political observers and party cadres as well. So the BJP here has joined hands with councillors from the Congress to form the Ambernath Vikas Aghadi and take control of the municipal council in the region. Now, as you know, the polls were held last month, during which Shiv Sena and BJP, despite being allies at the state and national levels, contested separately. So this is the rare alliance that has emerged in the township of Ambernath between the BJP and Congress. To call it a rare alliance would be an understatement here. Now, in the 60-member, if I could just give you a brief background here as well, the polls which were held last month, during which Shiv Sena and BJP, despite being allies at state and national levels, had contested separately. Now, Preeti is joining us live for more on this. Preeti, of course, you were talking about this rare alliance. Now, we're seeing the kind of sharp reactions that we're getting to this also. Some are calling it a betrayal of their ideologies, something that the people really vote on, something that people rely on from both sides. What is your take on this?
As we seen in Maharashtra politics during the last 10 years, earlier also the Ajit Pawar formed the government with the Devendra Fadnavis early morning. Then after that, Eknath Shinde came with the BJP. So all these things happen in Maharashtra politics in last 10 years. But this is quite shocking that the first time in Ambernath Municipal Corporation election, BJP and Congress alliance will fight the election together. But meanwhile, another development took place yesterday. It's in the Akola district court corporation that election took place the 15 days ago, and now the BJP and MIM will come together and they will make the government in the Akot Nagarpalika election. So this is also another shocking news. Not only BJP has tie up with the Congress in Ambernath, whereas in Akot Nagarpalika election they have done the tie up with the MIM also. So now this is quite shocking. And meanwhile, the Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has also raised the objection about this alliance. He clearly said that he is not happy with the local leader decisions about to go in the elections to form the government in Akot Nagarpalika with the MIM. Same thing happened. He also raised objection with the local leaders why they done the alliance with the Congress in the Ambernath Municipal Corporation. So this is quite shocking that BJP has done the tie-up with the Congress as well as now they are going with the MIM.
All right, well, Preeti, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. We'll continue to track all developments on that closely and bring you all the reactions that we're getting on this development also. All right, and bringing you right now, CNN News 18 exclusive. Counterintelligence Kashmir has conducted raids across 22 locations in Kashmir, we're given to understand. The Counterintelligence Kashmir has launched a major crackdown in the valley. 22 suspects have been detained so far. We're getting this information with officials warning the probe is only beginning and could further expose a much larger national network. So this is the latest that we're getting for you right now. Ishan Wani joining us live for more on this. Ishan, what can you tell us about this?
Oh, well, it is a mega crackdown that has been launched by the CIK in Kashmir. Right, 22 locations have been raided, and there's a launch of a major crackdown in the valley, where full-state surveillance network that was quietly draining money from cyber frauds, illegal betting and online gaming allegedly, and pushing it deep into the organized crime and terror channels, and that's what the CIK is trying to crack down on. There's an FIR that was also registered by the CIK and to uncover the entire syndicate, how it functions and how the mule bank accounts allegedly were created of poor, unemployed and unsuspecting people to move these funds from the digital space, and these accounts acted as a temporary parking point for them to allow criminals to rapidly lay and use this money as fake investment apps, online scams and digital threats. Now, the investigators say that the system was designed to keep masterminds hidden while these account holders are faced first, making detection harder. So yes, that's a crackdown. We are given to understand Srinagar, Badgam, Shopian, Kulgam and other digital devices have also been seized from the district, and 22 suspects have been detained so while the investigation is underway and are trying to unearth the large nexus behind all of this.
Right, Ishan, of course, we're hearing about online scams, digital threats, and fake investment apps also. Is there any more information on how this entire module was operating?
Well, when they used to take the money out of a person's account, they used to float it in the mule accounts, and those people who are poor, who have no idea that there's an account which is being run on their name, and then while storing the money there, which used to act as a gateway, and then that money was used to taken further to use for crimes, for other related activities, and that's where the investigation part is looking at, that while the money was being taken out from the poor people, and then there's accounts of in the name of those who are poor were being run by these people, and then that money was used for further other things. We saw in Delhi blast case that how the money from people who are professionals were taken and used for such a large incident, and then similarly they want to ensure that they're able to crack down on any such online threats or online people who are trying to get the money and then trying to send it across or send it to people to organize crime or terror related incidents.
All right, Ishan, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. Of course, we are going to be getting more developments for you on this as well, as and when we have more information for the same. Let's shift our focus now. JNU is returned to the headlines after the Supreme Court denied bail to Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam in the 2020 Delhi riots case. Now, student groups raised slogans critical of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah. The JNU administration took note of this incident, saying that what began as a protest crossed the line into objectionable and inflammatory sloganeering in violation of campus rules and with the potential to disturb harmony. So an FIR has been filed. Delhi police say the complaint is under examination. Meanwhile, TMC MP Mahua Moitra backed Umar Khalid, calling the UAPA case twisted lies, triggering fresh political reactions on the same?
I'm at the JNU campus, and this is the Sabarmati hostel exactly where the incident had actually taken place. This is right behind me, and this is the whole hostel where in fact these visuals were recorded. These are in fact the places where this incident had taken place, and the slogans were actually raised.
ये शर्जिल इमाम की जो औलाद है जेएनयू में पैदा हुई है, इनके इरादों को कुचलने का काम हम करेंगे। ऐसे नापाक इरादे जो देशद्रोहियों के साथ खड़े होते हैं, जो देश को तोड़ने की भाषा करने वालों के साथ खड़े होते हैं, उनके इरादों को कुचल दिया जाएगा। ऐसे इरादे नहीं चलेंगे।
You know, this type of slogan in India in last 50 years, you will see hundreds of times raised, not once. All political parties, supporters. This type of slogan raised, though it is not proper to raise like that, and it will not be done also, but this way of slogan unnecessarily create trouble. I think they should be careful in raising slogan when their government attitude against democracy is so stiff. I think they should be very careful in raising slogan.
For more on this, we have Ananya Bhatnagar live with us. Ananya, thank you so much for staying with us on this development. Of course, we're given to understand that an FIR has been filed as well. We're going to see that meeting which is scheduled for today. That being said, when we talk about the legal recourse, what can you tell us about that?
Well, absolutely. In fact, FIR is to be filed in this particular case. There is, in fact, very clearly at this juncture, the police is actually considering the kind of complaint that's been given out by the Chief Security Officer of the Jawaharlal Nehru University. And at this particular moment, there is, in fact, a deliberation being done by the DCP Southwest along with the SHO Vasant Kunj North, under whose jurisdiction this police station actually comes in. But very clearly, the JNU administration is also very, very strict. It says that disciplinary action would be initiated against this particular student. In fact, sources in the JNU administration had told CNN News 18 very clearly last evening that there would be a show cause notice that would be issued to the student. Their explanation would be sought, and then the strictest possible action is something that would be warranted against these particular people, because the university says that such kind of facts, such kind of sloganeering being used in the university campus is not only against the code and conduct of the university, but also is something that would be viewed very, very seriously by the varsity administration. In fact, the chief proctor, the registrar, the vice chancellor of the university, all of them are taking a very, very serious view of all of the incidents that have transpired day before yesterday evening, and that is exactly why the university administration is looking into strict action against these particular students as well.
We also have Simran Babur live with us. Simran, you've been bringing us all the developments. Also, when we talk about the meeting that's planned for today, this evening, what can you tell us about that, Simran?
Well, there is an expectation obviously in this regard as far as the ABVP student union is concerned, and there are many other groups also that are planning to also take on to a protest in the backdrop of what has happened on the 5th January evening at the Sabarmati hostel. We are currently at JNU as well, and while we also try to show you that there is security at present from every corner, and the focus over enhancing the security has increased in the past few days given the nature of incidents that have been reported from the university, and in consideration of what request has been initiated by the university right now, it is also likely to be expected that soon the FIR will be registered. As far the police's statement is concerned, the Delhi police has maintained that they have received a complaint based on the complaint that has been given by the JNU security officer to the North Vasant police station house officer, and on that regard the complaint seriously mentions that there has been instigation of the kind of provocative slogans that was in the contempt of court. Making these underlining these kind of statements, now the police is going to initiate an inquiry and also look into the matter further as and when they would also find it doable. But when we also talk about the ABVP and how the students are here right now planning to take on to that FEG burning program in the evening, I'm being joined by the ABVP secretary at the JNU and vice president. आज की शाम की क्या किस तरीके की प्रक्रिया है? आज शाम को FEG बर्निंग एक प्रोग्राम होगा और जिस तरीके से जो 9 लोगों के नाम आइडेंटिफाई किए, जिसमें से 5 JNU स्टूडेंट्स यूनियन के ऑफिस बेयरर्स हैं, तो उनका किस तरीके से आप लोग शोषण करेंगे? मतलब क्या आपका कहना है इसमें?
मतलब इसमें FEG बर्निंग जो रखा, जो इंसिडेंट हुआ जहाँ पे उन्होंने नारे लगाए कि RSS तेरी कब्र खुदेगी, ABVP तेरी कब्र खुदेगी, तो उसके बाद से जो इस तरह से जो है एंटी नेशनल एक्टिविटीज़ जो है ये हमेशा से करते आ रहे हैं वामपंथी संगठन, और इनका हमेशा से ये चरित्र रहा है कि एंटी नेशनल एक्टिविटीज़ करने का, चाहे वो न्यायालय की अवमानना हो, माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट द्वारा जो फैसला दिया जाता है उसकी अवमानना हो, तो या संविधान की अवमानना हो, तो इस प्रकार से हमेशा से करते आ रहे हैं। तो उसी को लेकर के आज जो हम लोग प्रतीकात्मक रूप से ये जो एंटी नेशनल एलिमेंट्स हैं जो पूरे देश में फैले हुए हैं और विदेशों तक जिनका नेक्सस है, तो इस नेक्सस का जो है हम लोग आज FEG बर्निंग करने वाले हैं और उसके माध्यम से एक संदेश देने वाले हैं कि देश का जो युवा है, देश का जो जेनजी है, वो इन एंटी नेशनल एलिमेंट्स के खिलाफ है और इनकी विचारधारा को पूरी तरह से नकारता है।
अच्छा, एक सबसे अहम सवाल ये है कि अभी जो यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर माहौल बना हुआ है काफ़ी टेंस है, FIR होने की बात चल रही है, तो संक्षेप में बताइए कि अभी माहौल को देखते हुए क्या सेंसिटिविटी बनी पड़ी है? आप लोगों को भी ऊपर यूनिवर्सिटी ने क्या कोई बातचीत कराई है? क्योंकि शो कॉज नोटिस भी इशू हो सकता है बाकी लोगों को, यूनिवर्सिटी ने कन्फर्म किया है।
जी, उसमें जो इन्होंने आयोजन किया था, तो प्रशासन के पास अपना एक तंत्र होता है और ये प्रशासन जो है अपने हिसाब से वो चीज़ें करता है। जिस तरह से आपने देखा होगा कि चीफ सिक्योरिटी ऑफिसर जो है वहाँ पर थाने में जाकर के आवेदन देते हैं और जो भी उन्होंने आइडेंटिफाई किया होगा जिन लोगों को, उनका नाम देते हैं। तो अभी तक ऐसा कोई एडवाइजरी जो है प्रशासन के द्वारा स्टूडेंट्स के लिए जारी नहीं की गई है। आगे जैसा भी होता है तो हम लोग बताएंगे ही, या वो न्यूज़ में भी आ भी जाएगा।
Well, all right. In fact, as you have just heard it from the ABVP Student Union Secretary as well in the campus, they are going to take on to that protest and going to reply saying this is the kind of, in fact, an atmosphere that has become at the university, and the varsity has taken strict cognizance of the activities out at the campus.
All right. Well, Simran, of course, we'll continue to track all developments on that front as well. Let's just shift our focus for now. Nearly a month after the devastating fire at Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub in North Goa, which left 25 people dead and more than 50 injured, the tragedy is now back in focus. And how? The Goa government has turned down the opposition's demand to discuss illegal nightclubs and the issue of corruption, which is at the heart of this entire tragedy, and instead has decided to have a special discussion on 150 years of Vande Mataram in the winter session of the assembly scheduled from the 12th of January. So in light of all that has happened in Goa, a month after that tragic incident at Birch by Romeo Lane, CNN News 18 had also conducted its own investigation, highlighting the fatal lapses that seem to be rife in such places. Now, for more on this, Yesha Kotak is now joining us live. Yesha, now this particular decision to not talk about illegal nightclubs, the issue of corruption, instead to focus on Vande Mataram, what can you tell us about that?
So yes, there was a meeting of the Business Development Committee because the winter assembly session of the Goa Assembly will be beginning from Jan 12th. So which is where ahead of ahead of the assembly session was where a meeting was called in to discuss what all would be a part of the program, or what will be the discussion that will be held during the assembly session. We've also seen how the Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant further went ahead to in fact mention that there will be special discussion on the 150 years of Vande Mataram on 12th and 13th of Jan. However, what we also got to know from the opposition members is that there was a demand for a discussion on Birch by Romeo in the fire tragedy, wherein 25 people lost their life, which is where what's even in fact come to forth is that as a part of the discussion in the business development committee, there was no time that was allotted for a discussion on the fire at Birch by Romeo Lane. This is something that has led to political questions being asked, political war of words over this very issue. Clearly, because the opposition had demanded that there should be a discussion on the very fire incident at Goa. Yes.
Now, Yasha, I really have to talk about the opposition's demand here, they were demanding a discussion on illegal nightclubs, the issue of corruption, which actually led to a tragedy like the one that we saw at Birch by Romeo Lane. Now, some of the opposition MLAs have also said, if required, we will go protest outside these illegal nightclubs. Also, however, it does not appear that there is going to be any sort of a concrete discussion on this.
Absolutely. In fact, in the last couple of weeks after the fire incident took place at Birch by Romeo Lane, there were several committees that were formed, questions that were raised on illegal nightclubs. In fact, in December as well, we'd seen that the government had in fact announced that all the illegal nightclubs in the state would be brought down. But however, because this being a pertinent issue, in the wake of the fact that the fire incident broke out very recently, and there's been no assembly session ever since then, so which is where this was an important discussion that was to be held.
Absolutely.
But however, as far as details are concerned, as of now, there's no time allotted for that in the upcoming assembly session so far. Yes.
All right, now Yasha, that being said, of course, what are the reasons that they've cited for not having a discussion on this and for rejecting this completely?
What's in fact come to forth, as a part of the discussion in the committee is that while there was a proposal to hold this very discussion, it was pitched that because it's to commemorate 150 years of Vande Mataram, that's where a special assembly session should in fact be dedicated to, and that's the reason it was cited in the committee. However, after that very discussion, so far there has not really been any reaction that's come in from either the speaker or, for that matter, the chief minister after this very meeting was held. Yes.
Right, and of course, Yasha, at a time when, of course, the victims' kin are also asking for stricter punishment for the Luthra brothers, who were the owners of Birch by Romeo Lane, at a time when there is such furor over illegal nightclubs, the safety lapses, the complete abandonment of safety measures at these establishments, how really can the government afford to deflect this issue?
Rightly so, but in fact, when it comes to this very question, so far we've not heard from government authorities as to why this very issue has been diverted. Of course, the question remains on the part of the fact that there have been 25 lives that have been lost. Some of them were tourists, several people who were working at Birch by Romeo Lane. So that's a question, that was a pertinent issue that needs to be addressed. And this, in fact, was the biggest fire tragedy that took place in Goa so far. While this is an unknown, this is in fact a known fact that there are several illegal nightclubs that operate in the state, but so far, there was no such tragedy at a massive extent that broke out at Birch by Romeo Lane that has taken place in the state, and which is this was quite a pertinent question that should have been discussed in the assembly session. But so far when the business of the assembly has been discussed, there's no time that's been allotted to this very issue. Yes.
Absolutely. Now, of course, with this decision, we are likely to see many reactions which are going to come in as well. Of course, the victims' families, they are furious. We know that the Luthra brothers are currently in custody of the Goa police as well. Their fate remains uncertain at this time, and what happens going forward, that is something that we really need to watch out for also, Yasha, don't we? All right, for more on this, we're being joined by Ms. Bhavna, who is the survivor of this fire at Birch by Romeo Lane. Thank you so much for joining me, ma'am. Of course, ये जो discussion है illegal night clubs की, जिसकी demand थी, वो reject कर दी गई है. आपका क्या मानना है इस चीज़ के बारे में? आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
मैम, डिस्कशन तो बिल्कुल जरूर होना चाहिए, क्योंकि 25 लोगों की जान गई है इस हादसे में, और वो सिर्फ एक प्रशासन की लापरवाही की वजह से 25 लोगों की जान गई है. तो आज इसके ऊपर डिस्कशन अगर नहीं किया जाएगा तो मैम ये बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा है, डिस्कशन बिल्कुल होना चाहिए, क्योंकि 25 जानों की कीमत क्या कुछ भी नहीं है क्या?
जी बिल्कुल, हमने अपनी कुछ इन्वेस्टिगेशंस भी की थी CNN न्यूज़ 18 ने। हमने देखा कि इन तरह के सिक्योरिटी लैप्सेस कई जगहों पे हैं और ये इतनी इम्पोर्टेंट डिस्कशन है, जैसे आपने भी मेंशन किया। क्या आपको लगता है कि शायद ये इशू जो है, चाहते हैं कि इससे ज़्यादा इसके बारे में ज़्यादा डिस्कशन ना हो, ये ज़्यादा बड़ी ना बने?
मैम ये डिस्कशन मतलब ये क्योंकि गलती ना प्रशासन की तरफ से है, इसलिए वो इस डिस्कशन को मतलब ज्यादा मतलब बोलना नहीं चाहते, इस टॉपिक के ऊपर ज्यादा बातें रखना नहीं चाहते हैं अपने। बट होना चाहिए, बट ये होना चाहिए मैम, क्योंकि देखिए प्रशासन अपनी गलती को छुपा रहा है। आप ये देखिए ना कि अनऑथराइज तरीके से क्लब चलाया जा रहा है, उनके पास लाइसेंस नहीं है, वाइन का लाइसेंस उन्होंने रिन्यूअल नहीं करवाया। मैम इतनी सारी चीजें हैं जिसकी लापरवाही की वजह से आज 25 परिवार बिखर गए हैं मैम। इनफैक्ट मेरे परिवार के 4 लोग सदस्य इस हादसे में उनकी मौत हुई है। तो मैम मैं मना करूंगी कि डिस्कशन नहीं होना चाहिए, बिल्कुल होना चाहिए मैम, और ये डिस्कशन बिल्कुल स्ट्रांगली होना चाहिए। और ये चीज जितना ज्यादा ये चीजें फैले, उतना ज्यादा इस चीज का आगे तक सब लोगों को हर घर में पता होना चाहिए कि ये किसकी गलती की वजह से ये आज 25 लोगों को सजा मिली है।
जी बिल्कुल। एंड ऑफ कोर्स जो लूथरा ब्रदर्स हैं वो गोवा पुलिस कस्टडी में हैं, उनके बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहती हैं?
मैम लूथरा ब्रदर्स के लिए मैं ये कहना चाहूंगी कि वो कस्टडी में हैं और उन्होंने बेल के लिए जो एप्लीकेशन जो दी है मैम वो बिल्कुल रिजेक्ट होनी चाहिए। उनको बेल तो बिल्कुल मिलनी ही नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर उनको बेल मिल गई तो उनको फिर से बढ़ावा मिलेगा आगे अनऑथराइज चीजें इलीगल तरीके से उनको चलाने का, और उनको मतलब ये चीजें कंटिन्यूटी में रहेगी। तो मैम जो सरकार ने भी जो कुछ इसमें चीजें फास्ट ट्रैक पर की है, जैसे उनको बाहर से पकड़ के लेके आए हैं, उनके ऊपर जो मतलब जांच रखी है उनके ऊपर, वो तो सब टोटली वेस्ट हो जाएगा ना मैम। इतनी मेहनत उन लोगों की भी वेस्ट होगी अगर उनको बेल मिल गई तो।
जी, जैसे कि आपने बताया कि आपकी फैमिली के भी 4 मेंबर्स थे जिनकी मौत हो गई इस ट्रेजेडी में। क्या आपने किसी तरह का लीगल रिकोर्स लिया है इस चीज़ पे?
यस मैम।
ऑलराइट, आप कुछ बता सकते हैं हमें उसके बारे में?
मैम एक्चुअली मैं इसी केस के सिलसिले में आई एम इन गोवा, तो मैं भी गोवा में ही हूँ और अभी कोर्ट मुझे जाना है आज, तो उसी के रिगार्डिंग इसी केस के सिलसिले में मैं अभी गोवा कल मैं पहुँच गई थी, और उसी केस के सिलसिले में मैं यहाँ पे आज हियरिंग है, तो उसमें अब पता चलेगा कि आगे क्या चीज़ रहेगी। क्योंकि बताए ये चीज़ें क्या हो रही है कि मैम जैसे ये लोग ना अपनी बेल एप्लीकेशन दे रहे हैं, तो वो अगेंस्ट पार्टी जो है लूथरा ब्रदर्स के जो एडवोकेट्स हैं, मतलब किसी न किसी चीज के ऊपर ना मतलब परेशान कर रहे हैं, मतलब कि आर्ग्यूमेंट के लिए वो रेडी नहीं है और उन्हें अभी आर्ग्यूमेंट नहीं करना है, मतलब वो परेशान कर रहे हैं और डेट आगे बढ़ाए जा रहे हैं बार बार।
Right. Ms. Bhavna, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, we are trying कि और भी voices amplify हों और इस चीज़ के बारे में discussion हो, but thank you so much for your time. We are also being joined by a caller right now on the broadcast with us, Ravi from Bengaluru. Thank you so much for joining me on CNN News 18. What would you like to say?
Yeah, I would like to say that it is not exclusive. I mean, importance should be given for this discussion as to why this fire incidents happened and what are the lapses in the government. I mean, these are all what I feel from outside is this is a very big nexus between the rich people who want to do business and the politicians. They are all hand in glove, and this has to be debated very extensively in the parliament, in the sessions, and then I'm a patriot. Vande Mataram discussion should happen, but all these lacuna also should be discussed, because there are lots of lives which are lost, and then who is responsible for this? And we definitely know that there are influential people, politicians, and high net worth people behind these things. It cannot happen without these people's support, whether it's administrative people or whether it's the politicians. So definitely this has to be taken up in a big way and then discussed, is my thought.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for joining us also. But do you think this is perhaps an attempt to cover up what happened? Because when you talk about influential people, we know that the Luthra brothers too were very well connected, and that is why they were able to carry out such activities at their illegal establishment.
Absolutely. I mean, as per my experience, what I am following Indian contemporary politics for about 30 years now, what happens in these cases is the media will also, I mean, nothing to blame about the media, but they'll start covering this for about first 7 days, 10 days, 15 days, and they cannot keep it going. I mean, they cannot keep one topic going on for months together. But what will happen is after 3 days, the Josh will die down, and then out of sight is out of mind, and then nobody is bothered to look at the follow-up, what happened to all these things. And 6 months down the line, believe me, not even a single, I mean, nothing would have happened, and all these people would have got escaped.
Absolutely. Now we understand that frustration as well, and which is why we're trying to bring in more callers, and which is why we're trying to amplify the voices of the people here who are demanding a discussion on illegal nightclubs as well. Now this is not, as you mentioned earlier also, just limited to Goa. CNN News 18 had carried out its own investigations as well, and we have seen how many establishments run with such security lapses and a completely abandoning all sort of safety measures which should be in place. What we've seen in Birch by Romeo Lane, what's your assessment? As you know that of course the Luthra brothers are in Goa police custody, and there has been a lot of uproar with regards to that also.